Well, the UN Secretary General has reiterated the call for the need to guarantee the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria, including the occupied Golan Heights.
In Syria, millions of Syrians remain displaced and in need. Tens of thousands arbitrarily detained, and the risk of an even deeper humanitarian catastrophe still looms, in particular in northern Syria. We must keep working to forge a political path to a sustainable peace in which all Syrians are heard, grievances are addressed, and needs are met. And any resolution of the Syrian conflict must guarantee the unity, the territorial integrity of Syria, including the occupied Golan. My new special envoy has outlined priorities.
Guterres called for the unity of the Arab world as a fundamental condition for peace and prosperity in the region. He also warned against interference of foreign parties with destabilizing effects. Meanwhile, Foreign Policy Chief of the European Union, Federica Mogherini, once again rejected Israel's sovereignty over the occupied Golan Heights.
And let me be very clear, the European Union will continue to not recognize Israeli sovereignty over the territories occupied in 1967. We have a duty to invest in real solutions.
Mogherini's comments come days after U.S. President Donald Trump recognized Israel's sovereignty over the occupied Golan Heights. The move sparked widespread international outcry. In a reaction to the decision, the member states of the United Nations Security Council condemned Washington's decision as an apparent violation of UN resolutions. Well, what are the reasons behind Washington's unflinching support for Tel Aviv and recognizing the occupied Golan Heights as Israeli territory? We asked investigative journalist Tony Gosling. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
So they have a financial interest in taking that land, and it's good to see the United Nations saying that they can't have it. The idea, of course, has been, well, many people realise this now, to balkanise the Middle East in order to redraw the borders, much like the British and the French did back at the time of the First World War. And so that we're now hearing from the UN, absolutely, this is not going to happen. The integrity of Syria is important and must stay. The United States and Israel are setting themselves against the international community, and I think it's becoming clearer and clearer that the mission to do this balkanization is, I'm afraid, it's going to have to fail. The only problem is that Netanyahu seems to be gearing up for an attack on some of his own domestic citizens, the Palestinians, and also potentially with Iran too. There's a lot of talk about possible war with Iran, and they almost seem to have this ideological need to dominate the region.